You're looking at a nuclear reactor. It sits in a low building in rural Utah, and right now, it's running a computer. Look at what the computer is. It isn't a data center, it's a desktop. On July 1st, this reactor powered that one desktop long enough to put a website online. A month later, $1.2 billion went into the company that built it. $200 million of that was a loan. When a company can't legally sell what it makes, that money isn't buying a product, it's buying a change in the rules. The company is Valar Atomics. Isaiah Taylor founded it in 2023. He's 27, and he never finished high school. On August 3rd, Valar announced a Series B of $1 billion, led by Sequoia Capital. Bloomberg put the valuation at $6 billion. Sequoia's Sean McGuire took a board seat. 0.72 is in the round, so are 7 other funds. Then, next to the equity, there's the second number, $200 million of credit for a company with nothing yet to sell. Equity is allowed to dream. Debt has to be repaid. So what did that money see? 8 weeks earlier, on June 18th, at 4:30 in the afternoon, something happened in that building. Valar's Ward 250 reactor sustained a nuclear chain reaction for the first time. That part is real, and it matters. No startup had ever taken a reactor critical outside a national laboratory. The Energy Secretary, Chris Wright, called it another historic moment for America's nuclear renaissance. 4 days later, Valar reported what the reactor was putting out: 10 kilowatts. 10 kilowatts of heat. Not electricity, heat, before any of it is converted. And converting heat to electricity at that size throws most of it away. Here's the number to hold it against. One rack of Nvidia's GB200 servers, the kind going into AI data centers this year, draws 120 kilowatts. One rack. So the reactor that unlocked $1.2 billion was making about a 12th of what a single rack draws, and in the wrong form. That's why the July demonstration ran a desktop. Bloomberg described the output as just a trickle of electricity. Ward 250 is a helium-cooled reactor fueled with ceramic pellets, rated at 100 kilowatts of heat at full design power. It is not licensed. It runs under an authorization from the Department of Energy. That came through a pilot program the President created by executive order in May of 2025. That order told the department to bring 3 advanced reactors critical by the 4th of July this year. Valar's was the second. An Energy Department authorization lets you run an experiment. It doesn't let you sell a watt to anyone. To sell power in this country, you need the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. Its rule reaches any facility that generates power at any size at all. The only small reactor design the Commission has ever certified belongs to NuScale. That application was accepted in March of 2017 and certified in July of 2022. 5 years and 4 months for the design alone. So hold on to the question underneath all this. Somebody lent $200 million to a company that isn't allowed to sell its product. Keep that in mind. We're coming back to who. So, what is the money supposed to build? On July 1st, Valar and Nvidia announced a plan for a 30-megawatt data center in Emery County, Utah. It would sit behind the meter, off the grid completely, cooled in a closed loop so it draws almost no water. 30 megawatts. The reactor's full design rating is 100 kilowatts. That's 300 of them. And the demonstrated output was a tenth of one. The Utah project is a feasibility study. Nobody has committed to building it. Valar isn't alone in this either. In April, X Energy raised $1 billion going public. In July, Antares raised $470 million. and Antares had beaten Valar to criticality by 2 weeks. Valar's own previous round was $130 million, less than a year before this one. So the price of the company rose roughly 8-fold, while the reactor went from nothing to 10 kilowatts. The capital isn't tracking output, it's tracking something else. Now, the easy version of this story is that it's a bubble, and the reactor is a prop. I don't think that's right. And the honest reading cuts the other way. The physics is real. Valar's team built the thing and took it critical in about 7 months, somewhere no startup had been allowed to operate before. And 10 kilowatts is small because it's supposed to be small. A first criticality is deliberately run at almost no power, because that's how you prove the reaction behaves before you turn it up. Every reactor ever built started there. 10 kilowatts isn't the scandal, and anyone selling you that number as the scandal is skipping the harder part. So who wrote the loan? JP Morgan is on the facility. The administrative agent, the bank that arranges it and holds the paper, is Erebor. Erebor is 6 months old. The controller of the currency granted its charter in February after a preliminary approval the previous October. Palmer Luckey and Joe Lonsdale built it with money from Peter Thiel's Founders Fund. It opened with around $635 million of capital. Its stated purpose is to bank the companies ordinary banks won't touch: crypto, defense, artificial intelligence. And here's the part I keep turning over. In April of 2025, Valar Atomics sued the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. It's a plaintiff there alongside 2 other reactor developers and 5 states. What the suit attacks is the rule itself. The rule that says you need a federal license to generate power at all. The company's plan for the license it doesn't have is to argue that the license was never required. And that case is still open. On June 30th, a court extended a stay until September 29th, and the commission joined the plaintiffs in asking for it. Both sides are talking. So what's being financed here isn't only a reactor, it's the outcome of that conversation. Sequoia's $1 billion and the $200 million of debt behind it are a position on one question. Does the federal government keep sole authority over who gets to switch a reactor on? If that answer moves, it moves for everyone building one, not just for Valar. The reactor is still in Utah, still running experiments, still not allowed to sell anything it makes. Sometime before the end of September, a court in East Texas decides whether that last sentence stays true. Either way, the money already moved. It went in while the reactor was making 10 kilowatts. In a room in Emery County, a desktop computer was serving a website to prove the thing worked at all.